We are back! We are back! This is Football 101. This is the Beetle. And yes, we are officially back after the Super Bowl. This is our Super Bowl show. Super Bowl show number 39. Show number 39. Yes, it's entitled. Check this out. It's entitled Super Bowl Chiefs and MVP, my boy, Patrick MaHomes. Yes, Super Bowl Chiefs and MVP, my boy, Patrick MaHomes. That's right, we are back. This is official, show number 39, and we really want to, my God, this is a week after the Super Bowl. And I purposely waited until everything kind of calmed down and everyone do all of their particular analysis of the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl parade and the party and which team and the aftermath. Oh my, there's been so much news during the past week after the Super Bowl. It's ridiculous. So yes, this is the Beetle, and we're doing our assessment, our review of the Super Bowl. Let me just give you, let me thank our sponsors. Gotta thank our sponsors. I want to thank iTunes. Thank you, iTunes Podcast. I want to thank their podcast, iTunes. Thank you very much. I want to thank Spotify. Yes, I want to thank Spotify. I want to thank Podbean. Of course, Podbean on our platform. Podbean providing us the platform to produce all of these special Football 101 podcast show. Podbean has just stepped up big time. And of course, I want to thank Google Play, Google Podcasts. Thank you, Google Podcasts, for being there from day one. And of course, I want to thank YouTube. There you go. That's the setup. And of course, I am your host, The Beetle. And you can see my special jerseys in the backdrop in my man cave. Yes, this is the Beatles' man cave. The man cave. You can see my classic jersey of Walter Payton. Yes, 34. My boy Walter Payton back in the day. Chicago Bears, Sweetness. Yes, I was there. I saw Sweetness when I was living in Detroit. Saw him. Oh, man. My boy Walter Payton. And then my own jersey, number 8, at Miami University in Ohio. Defensive back. And, of course, when I was able to be there as an alumni, my badge. But, yes, the great years of the fun years, the 2.5 years of Miami University in Ohio. And, I did a special show with about John Harbaugh. By the way, Mr. John Harbaugh, the coach of the Ravens, was just given the acknowledgement of Coach of the Year in the NFL. So, yes, I did a special podcast on John Harbaugh, so check that out as well. But this is about the Kansas City Chiefs and MVP, my boy, Patrick MaHomes. Was that a game or what? I don't know how long this show is going to be. I'm checking my other laptop over here, checking the time, see if it's going on. Yes, it's going on. And checking my front time. Yes. We're doing an audio and video podcast. So yes. You can see in my man cave. Yeah, I still got the Patriots stuff on from last year. And do your job. Always do your. And I did a show about Brady. And check out that show, by the way. Yeah, What's Up with Tom Brady? Show number what was it? I'm checking show number 37. Yeah, that's the real deal. I told it like it was. But with it, let me get back to the point. This is a celebration of the Chiefs. Now let me break down the purpose of this show. The purpose of the show is to break down the game. You already know the game. Did you see the aftermath of the game? But let me give you the breakdown of the game. Okay, I purposely the Beatles stayed away from the game because it was truly, I would have to say, equally matched AFC versus NFC. AFC Chiefs, NFC 49ers. And yes, the 49ers came in to play. They had the real deal. They had the right matchups. I have to give it to the matchup for the 49ers. They matched up well against KC. Andy Reid's team. They matched up very well because they're a fast-oriented team, offensively and defensively. And as you know, the first half ended as a tie, 10-10. 10-10, first half. Let me look at the Kansas City Chiefs as they started out. They were ready to roll. They were ready to roll. They scored on their first possession. Was it the first possession? I can't even remember. They scored. They scored fast. Patrick MaHomes. My boy, Patrick MaHomes. He played. Andy Reid really coached, and he really he set the tone because he went for a fourth down several times in the first half, and that's how they were able to get their 10 points. They didn't stop. Now let's just preface this. I'm checking everything. Let's preface KC, AFC. They have nothing to lose. You got my boy Patrick MaHomes. you open it up, but quite surprisingly, I got to tell you this, they were somewhat conservative in the first half, wanting to run it. He wanted balance, but guess what? You don't need balance in the Super Bowl. You don't need balance. I understand it, Andy Reid. You want to create balance. You want to eat off the time. You want to eat the time up. But guess what? No, that doesn't go in your favor, and that's the reason why it ended up 10-10, the first half. Andy Reid, he knows the talent that he has. Hello, and KC was a bit nervous. Patrick MaHomes was not on his game the first half. He wasn't. He wasn't even on his game on the third quarter. But I'm just going to stay at the first half. He was not on his game. He was missing passes. The wide receivers not running thoroughly the routes. So they were really off their game majority of the first half. And getting to San Francisco 49ers, which I love. San Francisco. I love the city of San Francisco, by the way. I've been there. Let me just say, I got to back up. I've never been to Kansas City. The Beatles never's been to Kansas City, so I have no idea. I know Arrowhead Stadium by what I see on TV, but I've never been to Kansas City. I talked to my homies, my friends. They never been to Kansas City either. Who's been to Kansas City? There's a lot of people been to Kansas City, but I haven't been to Kansas City, and neither my network of friends have never been spend time. But I guess we're going to have to go to Kansas City. I guess we're going to have to do that. No one has been to Kansas City. That's Kansas City, Missouri, by the way. Not Kansas City, Kansas. Kansas City, Missouri, by the way, as I understand. Missouri! So there... That's a little side note. I've been asking people on my network, who's been to Kansas City? No one. What's the deal? It's a great city. I'm kidding. But by the way, I'm going to get to the parade as well. The parade. A classic parade celebration. So the first half... The first half, what? I'm thinking about the celebration. That's the reason why I'm laughing. So anyway, I'm just in my man cave. I'm just in my man cave doing the assessment of the Super Bowl. Give me a break. I'm not yelling at you. I'm not crying foul. The AFC won. I'm happy. Thumbs up. The AFC always wins the Super Bowl. Bake it! Bake it! Bake it! The AFC always wins the Super Bowl. Bake it! Yeah, that's the reason why I got still the Patriots stuff on from previous Super Bowls. Bake it! AFC always. Let me just say this for all the bettors out there, Las Vegas and the betting. Okay, I'm not into betting. I don't do that. But when it comes to Super Bowl, AFC wins. Simple as that. Hello. Not much to think about. Let me just, am I going to do this? I'm going to do it. Yes, the Beatles actually went to a Super Bowl I'm calling it, 1972, 73, when my parents took me out to the Super Bowl, Miami Dolphins, Washington Redskins. I'm calling this right now. This is special. I would not have released this unless, yes, the Beatles actually went to a Super Bowl when I was in 8th grade. And I'm very fortunate to go to the Super Bowl. My parents, Gene and Roger, had a package with other family members. Guess what? I actually went to a Super Bowl, see the Miami Dolphins, play the Washington Redskins. Man, I was like super hyped. This is 1972 or 73. And I couldn't believe it. I was there. It was the most phenomenal event ever out in California, out in LA Coliseum. And here I'm a young kid. I always go with the younger audience. And the AFC, at that time, AFL, Miami Dolphins were undefeated, 1972. And I'm all in on the Dolphins with, yes, I'm gonna say it. Bob Greasy, Paul Warfield. Oh my gosh, it's coming to me. Zonka and Kick, my boys, Mercury Morris, and the unknown name defense. It came to me just like that. Yeah, baby. I've been to the Super Bowl. I know the arena. I know the feeling of it. It's magical. If you get a chance to go to a Super Bowl, go to it. It's magical. It wraps you up. I was wrapped up into all the event out in California back in the day. My parents thought I was crazy as a young kid because I'm coming from Ohio. Let me just say, Ohio's pretty conservative at the time. When I got out of California, I couldn't believe what I saw. It was like, wow, this is real world. I'm digressing right now, but let me just say this. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful event. That's the reason why I went crazy with the Miami Dolphins. They won the Super Bowl, and that's the reason why I'm always an AFC fan. I always go for the AFC in the Super Bowl. So yes, Kansas City, Patrick MaHomes. I knew they were going to win this game. Come on, it's AFC. AFC always has a certain edge. They are a younger type of league. They are creative, and Andy Reid allowed Patrick MaHomes to be creative in the second half. In the first half, very conservative. San Francisco. Guess what? Oh my gosh, I got to give you the tip. Here's where San Francisco and Kyle Shanahan, yes, son of Mike Shanahan, of my boys, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get it, of the Denver Broncos, my boys who won the Super Bowl with John Elway. Damn, I'm doing a lot of digression right now. With my boys, Denver Broncos, Mike Shanahan, John Elway and the boys winning the Super Bowl back in 1999, 1998 or 99, 90, and 2000. back-to-back Super Bowls. But Kyle Shanahan, being the son of Mike Shanahan, is very conservative. Still, with all the talent that he has, he's still very conservative. And he showed it in the first half when they had about a minute and 39 seconds left. Guess what the 49ers did? They didn't stop the clock. You pull the tape back. Even the general manager, Lynch, shows him in the press box saying, timeout, timeout. Kyle Shanahan allowed the clock to click down. They lost an opportunity. The reason why I bring this up, they lost an opportunity to score before the first half. That told me everything. When Kyle Shanahan did not call a timeout before the first half, and even though they were going to get the ball in the beginning of the second half, they didn't even call a timeout. And they even had breaks. They even had a great catch before the first half. Brought them in field goal range. And they did not utilize the time well. And did not get any points. So Kyle Shanahan, in the press conference afterwards, said, I'm going to protect the lead. In essence, when I saw the post-press conference, Kyle Shanahan, he said, I didn't want any turnovers at the end of the first half. That told me right there he doesn't believe in Jimmy Garoppolo. No, he didn't believe in his quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. And this is the first time I mentioned Jimmy Garoppolo. And yes, that set the stage for the rest of the game. Yes, for the rest of the game. I'm going to do a little stuff over here with my laptop because it's going off a little bit. Please pardon me, video, podcast, audience. Pardon me, video, podcast, audience. There we go. We still moving strong. But the end of that first half told me everything about the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan. He didn't believe in Garoppolo because Garoppolo threw an interception the first half. He stayed conservative. He ran the ball. He didn't call timeouts right at the end of the first half. That was the end of the 49ers. Because you have to know that the Chiefs will always score within 1 minute, 2 minutes. It doesn't take them any time. But he decided to go at halftime 10-10. End of story. That was the end of the game for me. When I saw that 10-10, Kyle Shanahan didn't take advantage of that. 1 minute and 39 seconds. Check the clock. Check the recs. Pull the tape. They had 1 minute and 39 seconds. And he decided not to do anything. Wow. So anyway, they come out second half. Yes, they scored eventually scored extra 10 points, 20-10, third quarter. Patrick MaHomes was still not in the groove in the third quarter. Matter of fact, they were not doing well in the third quarter at all. But guess what? With the gunslinger like Patrick MaHomes, my boys, MaHomes. It doesn't take much time. It only takes, what was it about 6 minutes left in the game, and my boy Patrick MaHomes turned it up another level. And if you saw on the press conference, post-press, and they never doubted, Andy Reid never doubted the opportunities. And when 49ers didn't get critical first downs in the fourth quarter, and Jimmy Garoppolo could not hit the big pass plays, and you put the ball in the hands of Patrick MaHomes, my boy MaHomes, magical things happen. Magical things happen. And yes, my boy Patrick MaHomes. I'm sorry I have to do it. Just created magic, and made the touchdowns, made the first downs, and guess what? Yeah, you know, they won the Super Bowl. Going to Kelsey, going to the fast wide receivers and making plays. Guess what? That's what Patrick MaHomes does, and he just turned it up another notch. And even in his press conference, he just said his coaches never doubted him. He looked at his players, his teammates on the sideline. They never doubted him. And he just has a swagger. He just has that swagger. He's very confident. He makes things happen. That's what you need in a leader. Versus on the 49ers side, you look at Jimmy Garoppolo. He's not a leader. I'm going to call it, he just doesn't exude confidence. Hello. I think he still has about a year or two away. I got to be honest. He's about a year or two away. Yes, he played behind Brady, but he still has a year or two away from being a true leader. Patrick MaHomes is a true leader. He's a dog. He's a dog. He brings it. So he brought it in the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl. So there you go. Rightly so. Andy Reid, you see the celebration. I mean, you can see the camaraderie and the respect they have for Andy Reid. These are young, really young guys just wanted to win for Andy Reid. You saw in the Super Bowl celebration, Patrick MaHomes really gave it up to Andy Reid. And Andy Reid really deserved this. He's been there. He's been as an assistant coach, head coach for years. First Super Bowl. And the thing about Andy Reid, he realized this is a new game. This is a new time. This is a new NFL. You have to give it up. And he just gave it up in the fourth quarter eventually to Patrick MaHomes and Mahomes Magic, and all the players just stepped up. And let me just say, the Super Bowl celebration back in Kansas City was crazy. Was off the hook. And what I saw on TV and what I saw locally, when I tapped into the local channels, man, they were live in KC. They were live. Again, their young team, it's new for them. Kansas City deserved it. The Hunt family, who was a part of the AFC tradition, hasn't won a Super Bowl since Hank Stram way back in the day. They deserved it, and really feel so good for the citizens of Kansas City, Missouri, the organization. A shout out to the Chiefs organization. I mean, that's a stellar organization. And, of course, the celebration back in Kansas City. Did you check it out? Just Google it. And Google Kelce Super Bowl speech. The tight end, Kelce. Man, he was all live. He was all live. It doesn't take much. It's all about his national anthem. Give it up to party. He was off the chain, man. You gotta Google that. Kelce he was a graduate of University of Cincinnati. He's a Cincinnati Bearcat, along with his older brother who played in the NFL. But Kelce, the tight end, man, he was like on it. He tore it down. He tore it up. And he also just gave it up to Andy Reid. He gave it up to the folks in Kansas City. And he gave it up to his boy, Patrick MaHomes. That's what he did in his Super Bowl. Man, Kelce threw down. If you saw, again, look at Kelce's Super Bowl speech celebration in Kansas City. It's beyond classic. They just gave him the props and said, go ahead, go for it. And all the brothers was up there just like, yeah. And you can just see they were all geeked up. And yeah, Kelce threw it down. I mean, that's the energy level that you want among your teammates, among the players. And coaches love that stuff. Coaches love that. Organizations love that stuff. And Kelce just brought it front and center. Giving props up to the entire organization, the entire city, and of course, my boy, Patrick MaHomes. So let me just say this. There was a lot of talk after the celebration, and now that it's been a week, a lot of speculation about, is this a dynasty? Uh-oh. Is this a dynasty in Kansas City? Now, let me just say this. Oh, I'm getting a little shadow here. Little light. New light. This is it. Oh, sorry about that. I'm moving my feet around. Can you see me? Yeah, I'm getting a little extra light. The video podcast. Let me just say this. Is this, I'm going to answer the question, is this a dynasty in Kansas City? Well, this is what? Patrick MaHomes' third year. And now, matter of fact, you forget that he had to sit on the bench with Smith, first quarterback that was before him. I forget his first name right now. Smith was the starting quarterback. And then Smith got traded. And then Patrick MaHomes became starting quarterback 2.5 years ago. And Smith went to Washington Redskins, and Smith had a major injury. But I saw the local broadcast. They really gave it up to Smith by mentoring Patrick MaHomes when he first arrived at Kansas City. So, getting back to the question that's been brought up this past week after they won the Super Bowl, is this a dynasty? And Football 101 says, potentially. I'm not going to say absolute. Potentially. And I'll just say potentially because Patrick MaHomes is, again, a young quarterback. He's a stud. He has it going on, and he parties just like everybody else. Did you check out his Super Bowl celebration? He was on it. He was in. Oh man, I saw video of him. They were all in the truck, on the top of the truck. Him, Kelsey, and all the brothers, along with their family members. They were throwing it. They were doing some serious celebration. Let me just say it. They were doing some serious celebration with their family members. I'll just leave it at that. Patrick MaHomes is, he's a young guy. He has a great head on his shoulders. He's for real. And I think that he will continue to make all the right moves. Let me just move this over a little bit. He'll continue all the right moves. Yet, let me just say this. I would not want to see so much pressure put on him continuously. Because it really, this past Super Bowl, it was all on his shoulders. And KC has to improve their defense. They have to improve their offense. And potentially, it can be a dynasty. But, again, he's a young guy. And too much pressure really builds. It's to a completely another level this upcoming. The 2020 season is going to be, Kansas City is going to get so much new pressure. And I just hope that he's able to weather the storm, because the storm will come after you're a Super Bowl champ. And I think potentially they have a chance to repeat as champions. There's no doubt. I think they're the favorite for coming in for 2020. I give them that props. Because, again, it takes a while for other NFC and AFC teams to make adjustments to the new wave of what's happening. And I think they do have, I would have to say, they are at an advantage to repeat as Super Bowl champs. I give them that. Yeah. The Beatles coming out. They have potential, and yes, they have a great chance to repeat as Super Bowl champs. But to say that there's going to be a dynasty, a new dynasty, I can't go there right now, because there's so much other new changes that are happening in the AFC, by the way, and as well as the NFC. But I think there's teams like Baltimore Ravens. Hello. What's going to happen to Brady when he potentially moves to a new team? Chargers. And the AFC is so fluid, and I think the AFC has the better set of teams and players. So to say that Kansas City the Chiefs has a dynasty. I'm not going to go there yet. I say that they are odds-on favorite to repeat as Super Bowl champs. Odds-on favorite. I think they have all the right players to repeat, to become return. And as a matter of fact, we're going to have end of this February the NFL Combine. So they're going to get some new players. But to say that there is going to be a dynasty, I say pump the brakes. I see it always on ESPN, Fox, all the sports channels. They always want to crown the latest champion as Super Bowl dynasties. Oh my gosh, am I going to do this? I think I got something. I'm going to do this. I'm going a little bit, again, off script. I'm moving a little bit, talking about a dynasty. Oh my gosh, yes I am. I don't know if KC is ready for this, but yes, I still have my taste. Talking about a dynasty, yes, this is just 5 of the Super Bowl Blu-ray videotapes of the Patriots championships. So are they going to get there? Yes, I still have Patriots stuff. Are they going to get there? I think they have a chance to repeat as champions, but 6 championships within the decade of the 2020, I'm not going to say that they can't. And but it's an uphill battle. But I'm not going to coin them as Super Bowl champs because, again, I'm an AFC person, and anything's possible. Before the Patriots, I was a Broncos fan. Before the Broncos, of course, I was a Steelers fan. And, of course, before the Steelers, I was a Dolphins fan. So, there you go. So, this is the Beatles Super Bowl show. Show number 39. We're 32 minutes gone. 32 minutes in. This is show number 39. I want to thank our sponsors. I want to thank iTunes. I want to thank Google Play. I want to thank Spotify. Thank you, Spotify, for the extra shout out. And of course, I want to thank Podbean for giving us a platform for showcasing our podcast. And of course, I want to thank YouTube. We're out in YouTube verse YouTube world. YouTube. This is the Beatle. We actually did this show. I got it going. It's done. This is show number 39. Super Bowl champs, Chiefs, and MVP. My boy, Patrick MaHomes. Mahomes. Gotta give it up to Patrick MaHomes. And a shout out to all my listeners and followers. Thank you for putting up with the Beatle all this season. We are wrapping things up for Football 101 for this entire season. It's been live, it's been real, and I've been telling it like it is. That's right. This is the Beatle. And this is